Hey, good morning everybody. It's Bobby. I hope you had a great weekend. Now all is wonderful here at the club at Horseshoe Bay. Today I want to talk about the difference between someone who actually uses the body to turn through the shot and compress the golf ball, and contrast that with the person who instead is swinging in such a way so that they're really just looking for the golf ball with a pair of hands down there at the bottom of the swing. And let me say that again. The difference is the person who stays centered over the golf ball, turns and simply returns, and because they stayed steady and because the club is being actuated by the body and not just a pair of hands, compresses the golf ball time after time after time, contrasting that to what is far more common, and that is the individual who instead is turning back and then going to find the ball with a pair of hands, and using that method simply can't be as reliable. And so what do we want to do? We want to develop the former to the exclusion of the latter. And how do we do that? Well, as I said before, we want to strike down and through this shot with a turning body. We want to compress it. But if you can't do this small, then doing it big is probably impossible. It's kind of like if you can't make free throws with something approaching regularity, you're probably not going to do a whole lot better from the three-point line. If you can't throw a ball out of your right hand and catch it with the left, juggling is likely impossible. And so there are requisite skills along the way which must be built from the ground up. And let's talk about how to develop this. As I say, I want to make sure that I hit this with a turning body, and there's no better way to do that than just start small, without any wrist. Remember, wrists are what are used to go find a golf ball. Without any wrist, just turn and return, feeling like this club is only moving in response to the body. And if I can do that with a little small swing, turn, turn, oh my goodness, the compression on that golf ball is amazing. You know, what is efficiency? Efficiency is getting a lot out of a very little power supply. I didn't supply much power to that at all, yet it jumped off the club. Well, if I can do it with that small swing, I have a wedge in my hand, then maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Now, let me tell you what the most common failing is here, and what holds someone back. Most people don't give this side of the swing its due, because the work has been done, the impulse has been lifted, and so once a person strikes the ball, typically what they do is they put on the brakes in anticipation of observing the shot. We've got to do better than that. Because if we swing with the intentions of only getting to the ball, then what happens is we stop turning before we even get there. We've got to turn through it. The shoulders specifically have to turn through. We've got to make that happen. So here I have it again. I'm going to make a little bit bigger swing. The club is only moving in response to my turning body. And wow, that ball just takes off like a rocket. Now that felt like a 70% swing, but I can tell you I probably got 90% distance out of it, because really you get a great deal, a whole lot of bang for your buck when you are hitting with the body. And so what am I saying? I want to feel like at the moment of impact, my weight is on my left foot and my hands are slightly forward, as is the case with good solid iron shots, and that it's all happening because I'm turning my body, not doing anything with the arms and the hands. Here I go, I'm going to turn, and that's the body swing. Now, this is a wedge. I can quickly turn that into an 8-iron, but again, the same thing applies. If I can't do it with a wedge, then an 8-iron's likely not in the cards yet. But once it is, once you can do that, approaching consistency, well, then you turn it into a bigger swing, the same thing. You turn the body, you swing through it, and that ball takes off. If you will do that as a drill once in a while, not because that's going to be the finished product, but because you're starting small and building up, then it will certainly pay off in the long run, all right? And so be a bit more of a body swinger. Learn to compress that ball on the smallest of shots, and then work your way up, and I know that will help your ball striking. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in today. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.